name's Matthew Weiss. I'm a recording producer and engineer. In addition to that, do a tutorial series called the Weiss Series and do that through proaudiofiles.com. Today we are going to be focusing on a masterclass dedicated to the idea of feel, because sometimes when we are recording sound, we can get something that sounds sonically good, and that's a fairly objective thing, but we oftentimes run into choices, and we have to figure out what is going to make sense for what we're doing. And that's what feel is about, going for the direction that makes sense for the music, not necessarily what makes sense for the sound.
Life full of changes, it's different and strange as it is we grow. Life full of changes, it's different and strange as it is we grow. Life full of changes, it's different and strange.
Now I'm going to check these really loud spots here.
Open your heart, open your heart.
So I need to find a middle ground there, because my compression, the compression's super transparent and smooth, which is good, but now there's just straight up too much of it.
Yeah.
So
Open your heart,
that sounds already a lot better to me right off the bat.
open your heart.
You feel that open, like you still want a little bit of that rise in
So
there.
kind of opens up.
Right, I'm listening for how it sounds, and that's why I wanted to take through that process of like listening to the arc of her voice and how the compressor was influencing that, because that's so much more important than how much gain reduction is actually being done.
Right.
And the number, the needle could have been pegged, it could have been swinging wild. Really, it's just a meter.
It's like you do it with your ears, not your eyes.
Right, and the more we rely on our eyes, the slower our learning curve is at the end of the day. Whether it takes you 30 hours or it takes you 3, it doesn't really make a huge difference. What really matters at the end is when the listener puts it on and they listen to it, how does it make them feel?
Yeah.
So, once you get past that point of being like, if I don't do much, then I'm not doing my job, you get to the point where you realize, like, if I don't do much, maybe I'm just doing my job really well.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to go out there with a hammer and a sickle and a jackhammer, and you have to like sculpt Mount Everest into Mount Rushmore in order to get a record to work, where you're replacing sounds and you're miking up your dryer to get some rumble.
What's up, people? This is Armageddon, aka Getty. I want to talk to you about Matt Weiss and his work. Matt is not just a mixing engineer. What Matt does is he injects some musicality into the music. He makes it into an experience, rather than just something you hear, or that was a nice mix, that was a good mix. No, Matt's gonna make sure it's a great mix, it's a great song. Plus he's a freaking information maniac. I mean, the guy, he has a storehouse of data in his mind, man. He just knows so much, and I think that's what makes him such a great mixing engineer. And I look forward to working with him more in the future. Peace.
Hi, my name is Uri Kane. I'm a pianist and a composer, and it's been a great pleasure working together with Matt Weiss. I've done several music projects with him, a jazz CD, a classical project, and also some electronic music. And I found working with him was really a great experience. He has great ears, and he's a very enthusiastic person to work together with. And I also highly recommend his instructional videos, because they're very informative, and I've learned a lot from listening and watching them. So I hope you do too. I highly recommend them, and thank you very much.
I built all of my knowledge on the backs of brilliant people, folks like Denise Barbarita, who was, and Ron St. Germain, and Denise was assisting Bob Power for a while and working in Battery, and so there's this lineage of engineers learning from the previous engineer, taking a technique, and an entry-level engineer can get with me and follow me, and then take what I say, and 5 years later, 10 years later, there's somebody who was just learning while I was doing my thing, and then they've got the next new thing.